Hello again. Something that I wanted to talk about. I have talked about this before, but I just want to kind of reiterate and clarify some stuff. Since I had a message from somebody through Facebook, and he or she said that I must be kind of faking going to work and driving around in a cheap little car that actually is owned by my sister and I'm paying her for, and all the other stuff that I apparently whine about to do with my finances. I'm not sure I do whine. I just comment. I'm not sure I whine at all, actually. I don't know, maybe I had a little moan up about being trolled a couple of weeks ago, and I guess here we go again, but that's fine. I want to talk about this. Just to clarify, I don't have any hidden assets. I don't have anything tucked away. I never did. So I'm quite looking forward to getting paid next week. I'll be able to invoice for my month's work, and right now I'm not skint, but I'm not living a champagne lifestyle, that's for sure. Nor do I want one. I've got enough money to get me through to the end of the month, and I'm happy with that. Why wouldn't I be? But the reality of my confiscation orders, I've had two of them. The first one obviously relates to my arrest in 2003. I had everything I owned taken from me. Some of you will already know that I also had two inheritances taken from me during that prison sentence when my mum and my grandmother both passed away. And the upshot of how confiscation orders work is that on the first confiscation order, I still currently owe, it's paid and I don't have to worry about it, but I technically still owe, do you know what, I'm not even sure. I'm going to put the two together. I think I owe something like £4 million at the minute, and it rises at 8% interest a year, so it'll be, what, 4,350 in a year's time, 4,350,000 in a year's time. So yeah, it's never going to leave me alone. So I just deal with it. For those of you who have asked, and I have answered a few times, I am allowed to earn a living. I'm just not allowed to have anything of any particular value. I know that if I was to own a car that was worth more than about £5,000, they'd come and snatch it from me. Any amount of savings in my bank account, again, I don't have to fear anything there, but they'd come and snatch that as well. I can't have a mortgage again in my lifetime. I could, but there's no point. As soon as I signed the papers on that mortgage, confiscation unit would claim all of the equity in the house, and that would run forever, regardless of when the house was sold, or if I died, they'll be there. So housing register, that's me. And to be fair, look, I have to look at things in a realistic way. I'm never going to be able to save up for a deposit on a mortgage now. I'm 51 years old. I've started from scratch. The person who said that they were certain that I have money tucked away somewhere. I'm not sure how they're certain, and I'm not sure, I'm not sure about that person, if I'm honest. I left prison with £385 to my name 7 months ago. I know it was £385 because I carried it out of the prison with me. It was money that I'd saved from not spending my £12 a week wages, and probably a little bit of leftover money from before I was put in Elmley after being thrown out of Stamford Hill. So yeah, I did get an advance payment from Universal Credit the day I got out. That was about £360. They wrote to me about a month ago and demanded their money back. So now I'm paying that back as well at £15 a week. Which is fair enough. That it will be paid off. I think it's sometime in March. So yeah, I've set up a payment plan. I had to ring them up, and So in terms of my second confiscation order, same thing. They took everything I had, and my benefit figure was set at 1.4 million. And that will be rising at 8% interest a year until I die. And bear in mind that one started in 2014, so it's already had nearly 10 years worth of 8% per annum. You can do the maths on that. I try not to think about it, if I'm honest. So yeah, confiscation. I could do a live about confiscation. It's a very complex piece of law, and it's very heavily stacked against the defendant. There's no doubt about that. And I'm not complaining about that. I'm not whining about it. It's just stating a fact. It is stacked against, and it's one of the few kind of aspects of British law that, or English and Welsh law, should I say, that is heavily stacked in favour of one side, and that's because it's very simple. They set the laws so that they could financially smash people like me, and I understand that. Obviously, I didn't understand it 20 years ago when it all started happening. It was a bit of a shock and quite an eye-opener, and over the years I've made it my business to know and understand as much of confiscation law as I can, because it actually really interests me. It's fascinating, and it's it's quite it's fascinating in that I'm not exactly sure how they have managed to be able to stack it so heavily against a defendant, but they have. And I've always firmly believed, and I've never had any kind of evidence to suggest otherwise. I've always firmly believed that if you are in crime, you will be punished. If you're in crime that makes money, you will be walloped for it. The powers that be really despise that, and they will come after you all guns blazing. And like I say, I've paid my confiscation orders, but they'll never leave me alone. If I live another 30 years, they'll still be looking at me. So, you know, even when I come off licence, they will never stop. And my licence runs until 2031. But yeah, they'll be sniffing around forever. And I understand that, and I'm not just saying that. I'm saying it because I know it to be true. I've done my research. So there's your answer, mate. Have a good evening.